Starting five for both teams. First for Atlanta, Jeff Teague and Lou Williams, the backcourt. And holding down the middle, a tremendously hard-working and versatile big man out of the Dominican Republic, Al Horford. Then there's Kyle Korver, and it's Millsap in at the 4. And for Dallas, Calderon is out there with Ellis. And it's Samuel Dalembert manning the middle at the center position. Then there's Marion, and it's Nowitzki in at the 4. T kicks to Williams. Korver.
Well, that was a quick foul for him there. The refs are certainly calling it close. You know, last season the Hawks were a solid team on the road. Nothing spectacular. Really what you'd expect from a 3 seed in the East. End of the year with a 19-22 road record. Not bad. There's not a lot you can say that hasn't been said before about his skill at the charity stripe.
Now here's Calderon. Ellis goes in, and that one's good.
The defender a little hesitant to offer resistance as he bursts to the hoop.
Teague with the ball. But Clark, you said about the Hawks last year, 19 and 22 on the road. You really need to hover around 500 on the road. Don't you think, Steve, to position yourself for the playoffs?
No question. As long as you can control your home court and get a good record there, then 500 on the road is just fine. But this is a Hawks team that's looking to take the next step, Kevin, to really become an elite. They've been kind of stuck in the middle for a while now.
I'm not sure that was the play they had set up, but it was too good a look to pass it.
Let's send it out to Doris Burke, who caught up with head coach Rick Carlisle. Doris?
We talked about the keys to this game, and he singled out Paul Millsap as a player they've simply got to be mindful of. Coach told me he's always been an energy guy, someone you have to locate and box out every possession. But he's developed his offensive game to the point where he's more than just a hustle guy. He's also a scoring threat now, and a guy we can't leave open. They'll be watching him, Kevin.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. A slow start for Atlanta in this one. 6-point game. Teague can't hit.
You see the defenders get out of his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the bucket, but not that time. And, you know, one of the things you got to love about him is how he triggers that fast break. You know, the instant he gets the ball in his hands, he's looking to make the outlet pass and always seems to put it on the money.
And one other thing, you know, I like his vision when he's posting up. Being able to score down there is just part of being an effective post player. You got to punish him for doubling up on you, too.
Way to play in attack mode and get inside.
And, you know, if you're on defense and you're going to foul, make sure it's a good one. They did, preventing the and one.
And good on the second, so it makes them both.
This last summer, the Mavs asked fans to submit some redesigns of their uniforms for future use. Always kind of neat to see when a team and organization reaches out for the fans' input.
For Atlanta, they've gone 0 of 3 from the field to start the game. He feeds it to Williams. Millsap dishes to Williams. The Hawks again can't hit. And back to the Mavs, definitely a big move by them to reach out like that. Nothing like bringing crowdsourcing to the NBA and building a bridge, you know, Steve, with your fan base.
You know, Kevin, I had a chance to see some of the designs of the uniforms that were being suggested. Some pretty sharp-looking duds, but there were some other ones that were absolutely hideous. So let's hope the decision-makers in the Mavs organization pick some of the let's say the more clean-looking new uniform suggestions.
Now, here's Dalembert. Here's Nowitzki, and he banks in the layup. Nowitzki's got 6 points.
Every time it gets scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
You got to make a defensive adjustment here, Clark. Time to collapse inside, force the ball back out on the perimeter, make them beat you from long range.
Korver kicks to Teague. And a beautiful feed leads to a monster jam. Out of this world aerial skills for a guy of his size.
Kevin, that's what separates him from some of the other point guards around the league. The ability to rise and throw it down.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that spurs them on. Maybe he sparks a little bit of a comeback here.
Nowitzki. That falls. Nice feed this time from Jose Calderon. Calderon's got 3 assists now in this one. The Hawks trail by 10.
Jose Calderon out of Spain is a terrific playmaker and shooter. He's not a guy who's going to put up big numbers, but you give him the keys to your offense, and he's going to make a lot of good things happen for you.
And going back to Calderon, as good as he is offensively, Steve, you have to manage his matchups defensively.
Yeah, especially in today's NBA, quickness can be so deadly, and I think it's true. Calderon sometimes is at the mercy of those faster point guards in the league, but he can really play. He does an awful lot of good things out on the floor.
Out of bounds, Dallas will take possession. Jay Crowder's checked in for Sean Marion. Mavericks leading by 12. Ellis kicks to Harris. Some nice passing here by Dallas. Crowder, the pass to right. Count that one.
They worked hard and created great chances for themselves in this opening quarter.
Well, if they can match that effort at the defensive end, look out.
Now here's Teague. 1:53 left in the first quarter of the game. Here's Williams. No good. Mavericks have gone an incredible 8 of 9 from the field.
Well, Mike Budenholzer, the new coach of the Hawks, spent 19 years with the San Antonio Spurs, including 17 as an assistant. Boy, you couldn't ask for a better teaching ground than that.
The Hawks trail by 16. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Devin Harris. That is his first foul of the game. Atlanta making some changes. Damari Carroll's checked in for Korver. John Jenkins comes in for Lou Williams. And it's Schroeder in for Jeff Teague. Now here's Jenkins. And again, unable to change momentum here. And back to Budenholzer, who was with the Spurs for 19 years. Steve, the Spurs, the winningest team in pro sports over the last 15 years.
Yeah, I'm glad that Budenholzer has finally gotten his chance. I played for him for 4 seasons. He's a guy who loves the game. He's very dedicated, hardworking, and has learned from probably the best coach in the NBA during his time in San Antonio.
Left here in the opening quarter. The shot's good from Schroeder.
Dropped that one in as soft as a feather using the finger roll.
Out of bounds, Atlanta takes possession.
And not a good idea throwing the ball down the court that far.
Brand, a screen on Carter. And Millsap, here we go. The stupendous finish in traffic. Millsap's got his second basket of the night. Dallas leading by 14. Carter dishes to right. Kicks it out to Ellis. Takes a three. Another three for Dallas.
He's just been the man since the start of this quarter. And just a tremendous period of basketball for him.
35 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Carroll kicks to Schroeder. Kept alive by Atlanta. Back to Millsap. And it's blocked by Crowder. Ellis, the pass to Crowder. Misses from close range.
Well, he won't miss many of those, especially with the defender not in the best of positions yet.
Well, sometimes when you're at a height disadvantage, that's the way to attack. Go right at your defender.
Harris kicks to Ellis. Carter drives in. Stolen by Brand. Here we go, one-on-one. Just 3 on the clock. The shot's good from Schroeder. Schroeder's got 6.
And the defense just lets him go there.
And once he hit the open floor, there was no looking back, straight to the rack.
So as we end the first quarter, already a double-digit ball game. And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Mavericks.
Well, they're trying to play fast and trying to put the defense on their heels.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
I like that they're taking it inside and taking advantage of each opportunity, Clark, to chip away at the deficit.
Yeah, and doing it with the dunk is a major energizer, too. Gets the momentum going.
Yeah, and I think the interior defense, as good a job offensively as we saw, the defensive presence was almost non-existent. And they may see this lead disappear if they continue to give up those easy points.
And it's out of bounds to the Hawks as Atlanta retains possession. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Well, Kevin, even though there have been a lot of changes over the past few seasons in Atlanta, the team has rebounded despite the turnover in coaches and players. Al Horford said it came together quickly because of the GM, saying, quote, "We understood he was trying to do some things in a different way." Sounds like they have a good understanding of what they are trying to accomplish here, guys.
A lot of talent, Doris. Well, keeping them all working together. And the Mavericks with some changes. Alan Bear comes in for Brandon Wright. And it's Calderon in for Jake Crowder.
Boy, he's got a nice-looking stroke. That almost went in.
Yeah, a lot of times he'll hit that shot regardless of the defense.
Certainly was not the year the Mavs expected or had in mind last season. After retooling and expecting a playoff appearance, they ended up out of the playoffs and looking for answers.
Stolen by Brand. Passes it to Schroeder. Into Al Horford. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup. Horford's got his first basket of the night. Let's look at the energy stats, how the hustle game has been going for the Hawks.
Well, I think the defensive aggressiveness on display here has caught him off guard, playing airtight defense and coming up with the steals.
And we're also seeing a lot of fast break hoops, so this team doing a nice job getting easy points.
Carter dishes to Calderon. And it's Carter penetrating, and that one is hammered home.
Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
But, you know, they've got a nice lead. Don't take any chances. The simple one-hander is just fine.
And back to the Mavs, 24-17 at home, which is a solid record, but you have to be better than solid, I think, Steve, to get into the playoffs in the Western Conference.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Kevin. And you think about the Mavs' shortcomings last year. I mean, Dirk being hurt early, so they didn't mesh well. And then but when he did come back, there probably was too much ground to make up. So hopefully Dallas can have a full season of health for Dirk and the rest of the roster. And that's a tough one there because he's wide open. That's a shot he expects to make.
Dallas leading by 6. He passes it to Harris. Some nice passing here by Dallas. Nowitzki. Here's Dallenberg, and he uses the glass on the layup. Dallenberg has got his second basket.
And are they ever working inside? Good job on the glass.
Excellent job on the glass, Steve. I agree. I mean, they're battling in there. They're fighting, they're scrapping, they're clawing, and they're getting the job done.
Horford the pass to Schroeder. Back to Horford. And Dirk Nowitzki gets the whistle that time. That'll be his second foul of the game.
That's foul number 2 on him. It might not warrant sitting him entirely, but another one before halftime, they could be in some trouble.
Kyle Korver, he's checked in for the Hawks.
That's the risky run by staying out there as he picks up his third.
Atlanta making a switch here. Millsap's checked in. Here's Jenkins. The Hawks again can't hit. The Mavericks have gone 2 of 5 from the field here in the second quarter, shooting 40%. Calderon kicks to Dallenberg. Feeds it to Carter. Carter off a bit from Nowitzki. Dishes to Calderon. Pass to Harris. Shot clock at 6. Nowitzki sets a screen for Carter. Back to Harris. Lets it go with the 3. Dives for it. And that's out of bounds. Dallas will retain possession.
Hey, Dallenberg has been what he has been for a long time in the league. A solid defender that can give you a few points and block some shots. But last season in February, he came out of nowhere to drop a career-high 35.
Sean Marion, he's checked in for Vince Carter. And going back to Dallenberg last season, you look at his production, some of the best numbers of his career, and yet, Steve, his minutes weren't very consistent. Why do you think that was a problem?
Well, part of it, Kevin, was just the logjam of quality big men in Milwaukee. It was tough to find minutes for everybody, but I think also Dallenberg can sometimes make mistakes that get him into trouble with his coaches. Even when in the big picture he might be playing well.
Harris kicks to Calderon. Nowitzki inside. Dallenberg against Horford. That is good. Dallenberg's got his third bucket of the night.
You know, so many games are decided by which team wins the rebound battle. And that's held true in this one so far, Steve.
And even if it's only a modest advantage that they have in that category, it's still a significant factor.
Harris dishes to Calderon. And good coming on the assist from Devin Harris. And now a 12-point Dallas lead.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting in the paint and keep scoring points. Keep it going.
Yeah, not a lot you can do defensively when they continue to get the ball inside and get these easy shots.
Here's what Atlanta's going with right now. Williams comes in for John Jenkins. And it's Teague in for Schroeder.
Well, Millsap, a great signing with the Hawks. 2-year deal, $19 million. You like the skill level, a guy who battles inside. And even when he's at a size disadvantage, he still seems to really prosper.
And the Mavericks making a change here. Lights checked in. From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Yes, Kevin, for the Atlanta Hawks this summer, they lost Josh Smith, but picked up a terrific signing in Paul Millsap. His contract cost them about $5 million less per year than Smith's does. And alongside Al Horford, they've got one of the best shooting front courts in the league. Guys, Millsap had the second best plus-minus in the league 2 seasons ago. He can really help this team.
A steady vet. Thank you, Doris.
Yeah, one of the savviest players you'll see, no doubt.
And you look at the development for Paul Millsap. He's steadily improved as a passer, as a shooter, at the line. His overall game is upward.
He's even starting to shoot more threes these days.
Right.
Yeah, he's undersized, but just knows how to use the rim to protect his finish. I think what I like best about him is just his constant energy.
Teague against Calderon. A 3-ball. And once again off the mark by Atlanta.
You got to give them a lot of credit for the job they've done on the backboard.
Well, they've done a lot of things right, but I agree with you, Clark. The rebounding is right there at the top of the list.
The Hawks made the playoffs again, but ended up losing in the first round to the Pacers in 6 games. Dropped the first 2 in Indiana, won the next 2 in Atlanta, but it all ended when the Pacers got them in Game 6.
Well, and for the Hawks, it's been 6 consecutive seasons with basically this group. Certainly Joe Johnson left as a free agent to Brooklyn. But, Steve, they have yet to get past the second round in any of those playoff runs.
I think that's why they decided to part ways with Josh Smith and originally with Joe Johnson 2 seasons ago, just to make that next step, to start fresh. And they may take a dip here, but I think the future does look bright.
Dallenberg with a screen on Williams. Calderon passes to right. And that's out of bounds. Dallas will retain possession. On the Mavericks with possession here. They led by as many as 18 points.
Clearly, a defensive breakdown there, guys. They didn't play them close enough on the inbound and then gave up the triple.
16 seconds left in the first half. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Devin Harris. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. The Hawks have gone 7 of 9 from the free throw line tonight. And so he makes both from the line. Here's Harris. Out of bounds, Atlanta will take possession.
Where was he going with that pass? I mean, that's just an awful turnover.
9 seconds left to play in the first half. And the foul on Monte Ellis. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. The Hawks have shot 9 of 11 at the free throw line.
Well, 72% as a team last year from the free throw line, so the struggles continue, guys.
And, you know, there was plenty of blame to go around for that. I mean, it wasn't just 1 or 2 guys. I mean, for the most part, the entire team struggled.
And so that's the end of the first half. Mavericks.
And now, brought to you by Sprint. Live from 2K, the Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And we return here in Big D, Dallas, Texas. Welcome back, everyone.
What a game for Ellis. He's got 10 points, and he's done a little bit of work behind the arc. He's got a pair of 3-pointers.
Well, the defenders have that in the back of their minds now, too, so they're going to close out on him quicker. That should allow him to use the drive if he wants.
Korver kicks to Millsap. And there's the feed to Korver. Offensive rebound. Horford tries to keep it alive. Out of bounds, Hawks ball as Atlanta keeps possession. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Dallas. And Atlanta has possession, trailing by 10. Teague kicks to Korver. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Korver's got the first basket of the third quarter for the Hawks. Calderon dishes to Ellis. Marion tried to answer back, but that three is off the mark.
You know, Horford missed a big chunk of that 2011-12 season after he tore the pectoral muscle in his shoulder. But he bounced back last season and he arguably had his best year of his NBA career. He's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
Here's Nowitzki. That misses off the backboard. The Hawks trail by 4. And going back to Al Horford, a career high, Clark, last season in minutes played.
Yeah, he averaged a double-double for the first time in his career, Kevin, so that injury didn't give the Hawks pause. They rode Horford more than ever, and he was up to the challenge.
6 to shoot, and it's sent back by Nowitzki. Ellis in the post. He's guarded by Williams. Marion kicks to Calderon. Dallenberg sets a screen for Calderon. Marion. And here's Ellis from beyond the arc. Dallas, no good that time either.
3 straight misses here to start the second half. Hawks were pretty solid against the Western Conference, splitting the 30 games they played, 15 and 15. And if you do that against the West, when you're an Eastern Conference team, usually you're going to make the playoffs, and the Hawks did as a 6th seed.
And for the Hawks against the West, as Clark, you were talking about earlier, 15 and 15. Might sound ho-hum, but Steve was actually the 4th best record against the West of all teams in the East.
Well, look, the West, you know, the more dominant conference. I think 15 and 15 is a pretty solid record for Atlanta. So they had a good showing last year against the West.
Williams with the steal. Oh, and a fast break for Atlanta. For Dallas, they've gone 0-3 and are still looking for that first bucket here in the second half. Ellis, the pass to Nowitzki. Calderon. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
The defense better not make a habit of giving him that shot. I mean, he doesn't miss many of them.
Teague dishes to Horford for the lead. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. 6 points for Al Horford.
I give them a lot of credit. They didn't quit when they were behind. They really battled back here.
This has been a very impressive rally. The question is, can they keep the pedal to the metal, or will they run out of gas?
The Hawks trail. And here is Teague. And Al Horford again. Horford's got 8.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Here's Ellis. Uses the glass to finish the layup. And the Mavericks lead by 1. Mark and Steve, this game has a lot of character here in the third period.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I love seeing this type of action. A competitive, compelling matchup. A lot of lead changes here so far.
Yeah, 6 in total, Clark. So this has been a great game. Both teams playing hard and really competing out there.
Boy, it's been a tough go in terms of fouls for him. And my goodness, he can't stay out of the way of fouls. You go back to the 2006 draft when Paul Millsap was taken 47th guy. Now remember, he had led college basketball in rebounding in all 3 of the years he played at Louisiana Tech. 3 straight years leading the NCAA. That's something that never had been done, not even by a 4-year play. And he ended up being drafted 47th. Hard to figure how that could happen, but he's made the most of his time in the NBA.
And it's Ellis penetrating. Makes the lead pass. And stolen by Jeff Teague. And he slams it one-handed.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
Yeah, it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Ellis kicks to Calderon. Marion. Dallas moving the ball around. Right, left side. And there's the pass to Ellis. 5 on the clock. Ellis off a pick from right. Ellis, the pass to right. Marion. Good on the triple. Marion's got 5 points so far. And Clark, going back to that 2006 draft you were talking about, it wasn't exactly stacked. In fact, Millsap might be the second best player in that draft class, Steve, after LaMarcus Aldridge.
Well, it's amazing when you look back. I mean, how did he slip through the cracks all the way to the second round? He might not have had prototype size for the power forward position, but you know, it's all about production, and he was one of the great rebounders the college game had ever seen.
It's stolen by Calderon. Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist. Now it's a 3-point Dallas lead, and an important part of every team's game. A look at the hustle stats for the Mavericks.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ballgame.
And I'll tell you, the other thing that's been a factor is the transition game. They're scoring a lot of points on the fast break. An easy look there, but, you know, he misses those once in a while.
Korver dishes to Horford. Williams. Will it go? They shoot again. And Horford with the lay-in. Horford's got 6 here in this quarter.
Boy, he crashed the boards with purpose right there. Well-deserved second chance points for him.
Marion kicks to Ellis. The dish to Nowitzki. And that's out of bounds. Dallas will retain possession. Atlanta making some changes. Eldon Brand's checked in for Millsap. And Damari Carroll subbed in for Kyle Korver. And it's Carter penetrating. This is his first trip to the line tonight.
Well, he was an excellent foul shooter a season ago at about 82%.
You know, he really did excel at the stripe. I mean, they couldn't have asked for too much more from him when it came to knocking down free throws.
19 seconds left in the third quarter. Brand, a screen on Carter. Teague, the pass to Williams. Here's Brand. Off on the layup. And as we finish the third quarter, it's still close. Both teams trading baskets. We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. Mavericks leading by 3. Carter outside. And the defense didn't have position. They whistle a blocking foul, and he'll go to the line.
You know, the Mavs, like many teams, are always aware of who the free agents are that might help them become better. And prior to last season, they made sure they got their finances in order to make a run at Darren Williams to bring him home to Texas. Didn't work out, but they did the same thing this last offseason.
The Hawks trail by 5. Here's Schroeder. Horford kicks to Schroeder. He dishes it to Jenkins. Passes to Schroeder. Clock at 6. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. And for the Mavs, they know that in order for them to remain competitive and not go through a traditional rebuilding phase where they're going to... The rim is shaking.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's special because he lives for the big moments. Fearless. I mean, he will take any big shot down the stretch. He wants the ball in his hands.
And here's another thing about him, Steve. Every time he gets his hands on the ball in the backcourt, he's a one-man fast break.
Here's Brand. Cannot hit. And it's Dallas the other way. They led by as many as 18 points. Carter drives in. And it is flushed down with a nice jam.
You know, for a player with his explosiveness, that was ATM time. Cash money. The easy way.
Yeah, that kind of defense is not going to cut it against him.
Cash money. I like that, Clark.
Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Atlanta. Calderon comes in for Sean Marion.
For a little while in the recent past, it seemed as though the Mavericks were becoming a slowdown team, but last year they got back to running and gunning and ended up being one of the best offensive teams in the league.
That's a 2 from Korver. And it's Ellis with the rebound. Mavericks leading by 8. Carter drives in. And there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
They've had the hotter hand in the first first half so far, no question.
Yeah, it's because of all the high percentage shots they've been working for and getting.
As you said about the Mavs, 6th in the league in fast break points, and a lot of that was due to their passing, Steve.
Yeah, when you have Dirk and the other bigs that they have, they can get a break going in a hurry if you don't back up defensively. So it wasn't a surprise that they were up there in both fast break points and assists because of their fluid nature offensively.
He's not going to miss many of those, if any. Not when he's got that much room.
Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist. Ellis has got assist number 5 here tonight.
He's so reliable. And, his offense seems to be consistently there for this team.
Al Horford, he's checked in for Atlanta. Outside Millsap. With the lead pass, it's going to be a goaltending call here, so they'll count the bucket.
Cutting into the lead with a huge one-hand throwdown.
That's how to get your team back into it.
Yeah, sir. That may put a little life back into this team.
Samuel Dallenberg checked in for Dallas.
For a long time, it's been about getting out and running for Atlanta, and that was really one of the strengths of the team last season as well. Really one of the better teams in fast break points in the league.
The Hawks trail by 9. Teague with the ball, now guarded by Calderon. And they will get the basket here, folks, as they rule goaltending.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
And you can hear the reaction of the fans to that call.
Well, it's obvious they did not like it, Steve.
Lou Williams is checked in for John Jenkins. Some nice passing here by Dallas. It's Ellis on the wing. He's guarded by Williams. Marion kicks to Calderon. Another 3 for Dallas. And for the Hawks, who are so good on the break, ended up 3rd in the league last year in fast break points. Steve, not a surprise with the athletes that team has.
Yeah, but that's changing, Kevin. With Josh Smith's departure, I think it's a big blow. They're not as good in transition anymore, but they do have some exciting young talent, young players who can get out and run. So it's going to be interesting over the next couple of seasons to watch this team unfold.
Atlanta calls timeout.
Well, the days of the Matrix putting up 22 and 12 with a couple of steals every night are long gone, but Sean Marion is still a big factor for teams. He's such a solid defender with his reach and really causes problems in the passing lanes when he's out there active.
Vince Carter, he's checked in for Sean Marion. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Yes, guys, Mike Budenholzer had some words for his team. He was not happy with their play to this point, telling them we're getting out hustled, plain and simple. There's still time, but we've got to dial up our effort. Kevin, we'll see if they have enough to get it done.
Calderon for 3. Dallenberg dishes to Ellis. Carter. And we're about 3.5 minutes into the 4th quarter. Second chance shot. The shot is off. Good work defensively by Horford. And at 35 years of age, Sean Marion still an outstanding rebounder. Top 5 among small forwards in rebound rate last season.
And inside, he's very dangerous. He's got a lot of little funky shots, little floaters and runners. He does have the ability to step out and make a 3, particularly from the corner. But it's really in the paint where he does his damage.
That's a 2 from Korver. It's rebounded by Dallas. Ellis has got his 6th rebound on the night. Here's Carter. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good. The Hawks trail by 12. Korver kicks to Millsap. Teague left side. Horford high post. Pass to Williams. And Vince Carter picks up a foul. That's foul number 2 for him. He kicks it to Teague. No good. Great D that time from Jose Calderon. Vince Carter the bucket on the assist by Dallenberg. 19 points for Vince Carter.
Well, you knew he'd win that race.
Definitely. I mean, that's what you call early offense.
Kicks it to Teague. He feeds it to Williams. A finger roll finish at the bucket.
See, it hasn't happened as quickly as he would have liked, but he's finally putting some points on the board in this game.
Jay Crowder's checked in for Dallas. Marion comes in for Vince Carter. We've got 1:23 left in the 4th quarter. It's Marion with the drive. That's good. Marion's got 4 this quarter.
And every point they get now puts them one step closer to the W.
If they're not there already, Steve, it's a tremendous all-around game of basketball they play.
The 3 from Corver. Another 3 for Atlanta.
With the success they've been having from the three-point line since halftime, I'll bet you that scoreboard starts to look a lot different real soon.
Of course, they have to stay hot. But if they do, I think you're right, Mark, particularly if they can convert defense into offense.
And that one falls for Williams.
Easy buckets, guys, are best gotten in transition. The Hawks were very good in that department, and it's how they were able to be a playoff team even while losing the players that they did before last season.
And back to the Hawks, would end up 3rd overall in fast break points. You know, Steve, as soon as they got a rebound, everyone knew to fill a lane, and they could certainly finish at the rim.
Well, they had a point guard who really loved to push the ball in Jeff Teague, so that seemed to be the right strategy for this club. Of course, they've gone through a lot of changes in the offseason. I think they're in a situation where they're trying to grow. They added Paul Millsap, but this is more about the future than it is about the present.
Atlanta making some changes. Gustavo Ayan is checked in for Horford. Brand comes in for Paul Millsap. And Damari Carroll subbed in for Kyle Korver. Out of bounds, Dallas will take possession.
That's a poor possession. You just give away the ball with a sloppy pass.
Dallas has gone 6 of 11 when they've taken the three-point shot tonight. Very respectable. And there's the call by the official. They'll count the basket here following the goaltending call.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Here's Jenkins. And the officials call goaltending, so they'll award the basket.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
And that call gets an instant reaction from the fans.
Well, that's a whistle that did not go over very well.
3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. A nice shot by Carter.
Well, this is going to seal the deal. They've really exploded here to the finish line.
You know, once they sniffed out that blood in the water, the killer instinct came right out.
Schroeder passes to Brand. Feeds it to Jenkins. The 3. Mavericks with the rebound. They led by as many as 18 points. Here's Carter. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give them 2 chances at the free throw line here. First free throw is good. Carter hits them both. And there's the call on Brandon Wright. So that will be his 2nd foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. First one falls for him. Both free throws good from Schroeder. Now here is Carter. So no problem for Dallas as they get the win. They put on a show tonight, thoroughly controlling each end of the floor.
Hey, what more can you ask?
And that about wraps it up for Clark Kellogg. Steve